Ji or
Ramchandra.
over $100,000 as savings back in those days. So NASA to VYASA, 177 countries co-sponsored.
World Yoga Day is a phenomenon, and you being a part of its inception it's gonna stay for the rest of eternity.
That was an incredible blessing because
Yes.
IMS was focusing on engineering manufacturing, which was another very interesting subject. And thanks to that association, I spent a few years in Delhi and built connections. And the same association, the same group of guides and mentors helped me get connected to Pujya Guruji, Dr. HR Nagendra ji, and that's when the connection with the Yoga Day was getting constituted back in those days. And I was drafted into the team. Guruji gave me a big break and an opportunity. So of course, yes, there has never been like we say in Sanskrit, na bhuto na bhavishyati. So when the Honorable Prime Minister Mr. Modi went to the UN to propose the World Yoga Day, there was never an instance of all the member countries of UN coming together, and we were rooting for it so strongly. And it was the master diplomacy of Modi. Even before he made the pitch at UN, it's never happened before and it's never happened after the proposal of the International Day of Yoga. All the 194 member countries completely vetoed this proposal. Everyone agreed to having the International Day of Yoga on the 21st of June, and 177 countries co-sponsored this resolution, of which 56 OIC, the Organization of Islamic Countries, also co-sponsored this resolution. That was the power of Indian diplomacy. That was the Indian soft power at work, and that was the time for yoga had come. I mean, if you look at the growth of yoga from the last 11 years, the Prime Minister of India keeps talking about Amrit Kal, that is supposed to begin from 2047, that is the Viksit Bharat. Or rather, this is the Amrit Kal leading us to Viksit Bharat in 2047. I think the Amrit Kal of yoga has already begun from 2015 when the first Yoga Day happened. You can literally measure the before and after of yoga from that particular day.
That's very interesting. I'm feeling a little emotional also about this entire. There's a lot of gratitude I feel as an Indian man.
Oh yes, absolutely. I mean, through this podcast, or I would want to put it on record how deeply grateful we are to the Honorable Prime Minister, because yoga has been there for thousands of years. There have been great yoga masters who all had fantastic contributions. Yoga wouldn't get till here without them. But the biggest blessing came in the form of Yoga Day, from when it has catapulted, into multifold, and now there is nobody in the world that would say, I don't know yoga. It's gone to a stage where yoga has, our former minister and member of parliament from Bangalore South, the late Anant Kumar ji, would jokingly tell the former Ayush minister Shripad Naik ji that Anant Kumar ji used to be a civil aviation minister at one point, and he would say yoga has reached more countries than our civil aviation has.
Interesting. You also made a visit to the Swami Vivekananda Cottage with Guruji. Yeah. How was that experience?
So that was phenomenal, because that place has a deep history, and that is a place that has experienced, in Swami Vivekananda's own words, his strongest experience of the Nirvikalpa Samadhi. So I mean, if you ask me, that's a pilgrimage, for all yoga lovers, and whoever is interested in Indian systems of knowledge and Indic sciences should make it that should be a mandatory visit for everyone to go and spend some time there, and the energy of the place is surreal.
I heard from one of the VYASA members that y'all made it through the borders just by taking his name. Is that true?
No, we had to have visas.
It's pretty much fundamental, you guys.
But the thing was, how the border crossing is, the number of questions, generally when you are visiting, it's pretty intense these days. And but when we said that we are all headed to this place, and pretty much with no questions asked, and we were wished a happy trip, and so the connection, it's very close from the Canadian border. Although it's in the state of New York in USA, it's maybe 10 minutes away from the Kingston side, the Thousand Islands border of Canada. So it's super close to where I live from Toronto, and it's easy to get there. So when we crossed the border, the border officer naturally asked us what takes us to the US, and when we said we're planning to visit here, he said, "Oh, that's a great place," and the entire town there takes a lot of pride that Swami Vivekananda spent quality time in that small town, and so that's what it is.
Enlighten us about Vyasa, like from your lens.
VYASA. So, Dr. H.R. Nagendra ji, whom we fondly call as Guruji, is a rocket scientist, and the analogy is he was researching in NASA, who came back to India to start VYASA. So, NASA to VYASA is how he's referred to. To me personally, he is, along with his sister Dr. Nagratna, they both are like the modern day Vasishtas and the Vyasas, and the amount of knowledge that they have imparted to the world. I think the world is yet to recognize their contributions, and there is a timing aspect to everything. So what they've offered is still not digested by the community at large, and the amount of work that has gone in, the body of work that Guruji has achieved, especially in terms of research and publishing in peer-reviewed journals. And Dr. Nagratna DDS, she's fondly called, has done in what is today a multi-billion-dollar industry of integrative healthcare. These are thought leaders beyond compare. And the Institute of Vyasa is one of the greatest gifts to mankind, bringing back the great traditional wisdom of Vedas and Upanishads, and bringing back in a very scientific and a very approachable manner for a common man, for a layman to understand and implement in everyday life. That is what Vyasa would be, if you ask me. Anyone in India, at least, I would strongly encourage them to visit the VYASA University in Bangalore, visit the laboratory, and understand the research that's happening. The questions as to how yoga works, yoga has been working by faith, or across gender, across age groups for thousands of years. But what actually happens at every point is recorded and published at the Anveshana laboratory in Prashanti Kutiram. That's what the campus is called, and I would recommend everyone to visit and enjoy.
I remember my very first visit to Prashanti. You had invited for a meeting with Ritesh ji, if I'm not wrong. And then I was there, and then I don't know if you've seen this movie called Kaddi Pudi, which is a Suri movie in Kannada, where there's a conversation between someone that Shivraj Kumar, while he's driving, he's playing a character, and then he bumps into someone, and then and then you see that it is Dr. Rajkumar Road there. And I was just entering, and I had no idea about the scale and the velocity of the entire thing, right? And I just see a similar board like that saying Vyasa this way. And I was like, I have the recording on my phone. And then when I entered, and a bunch of students took me around the campus, and they showed me every infrastructure that's there in the campus. And it's just insane, the amount of research that has gone into for years now by Guruji and BD. And I'm sure it's like an incredible amount of sacrifice also that would have taken to,
Absolutely. So for starters, Dr. H.R. Nagendra ji, who is fondly called as Guruji, was working in NASA, and for a normal person, that would be the pinnacle of everything in life.
Right.
You have a job in US, and he had over $100,000 as savings back in those days. It would be multiple crores of rupees today. And like having a house and a car would be success in terms of common people, but he was not a common man, and that was not comfort for him, and he was meant for bigger things, and he was inspired by his great gurus to come back to Bharat and start off this research institution. Then he inspired his sister, who was she's a gold medalist in MBBS and MD, practicing in UK, and then she came back and established the Arogya Dhamma. So that is the whole the depth of what has happened at this one particular institute in the outskirts of Bangalore, which is now spreading rapidly across the world. is one of the greatest contributions of the country, I would say.
Incredible. I think I was there, and then there was this. I think my second visit was a convocation ceremony or something, and if I'm not wrong, and then someone was talking about the scale of Vyasa globally, and it was phenomenal. First of all, what's happening at VYASA Bangalore itself was incredible for me. Someone like a layman was no idea about the existence of it, and to see that, and then when I kept hearing the numbers around, the number of institutions and the places where it is, and people from across the globe coming there and representing their institutions, which is representing VYASA in a way, and that was insane. So what's happening around that?
No, VYASA has had, we've had students from over 150 countries that have come to Bangalore and learned yoga in the most authentic, traditional manner, and they've gone back and they're either establishing their own institutes or in association with VYASA doing fantastic work. So we are very strongly working in many of the countries around the globe, very strong in the East and also in the West. US is very strong. Canada, VYASA Canada is doing great work in terms of offering VYASA courses in Canada. We have a good pool of resources that have been trained in Bangalore. 4 or 5 people who've undergone the master's degree training and higher trainings in Bangalore. The VYASA trainings are pretty deep and intense, and unlike any other university, it's very, very thoughtfully structured with tradition and modern science both integrated. So we are very confident that in the time to come, this will be one of the biggest exports of Bharat.
My aunt did a course there recently. She's already been doing yoga. She's been coaching yoga for the last 25 years, and then she did a 30-day intense
Yes.
program there, which I think anybody can take up and do if I'm not
Yes.
wrong. And then she was talking about the schedule that she had throughout the day and continuously, and how she's come back glowing. Not just learning.
That's what
she's
happens to all of the participants
Yeah.
who go to any of the VYASA centers around the globe, and that's the secret of our Upanishads and the secrets that have been lying in the scriptures forever. That's being slowly unlocked and shared with everyone. And there's a big Bhagavad Gita related insights that any participant will have during any of these courses, which in itself are quite a revelation. So that is what brings the glow. It's like
Yeah.
you get into all the streams of yoga.
I think Vyasa was also an answer when I was curiously looking for what happened to Gurukulas. Why don't we have it anymore? And then I think Vyasa was. Don't you think
What
it's right?
happened to
Gurukula Gado.
Gurukulas? Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yes. Oh yes. Yeah. Gurukula system was a very robust and a functional system for various reasons and colonization and things that happened in India. But that has been on the path of recovery and revival. Acharya Ramchandraji Kotimane, he has been doing mind-blowing work in terms of reviving Gurukulas, and there is a very strong ecosystem of Gurukulas that has been established around the country right now. He was also the Vice Chancellor at VYASA for a very long time. Very, very distinctive personality and highly respected, revered. So he has kind of been tasked with the goal of reviving the Gurukulas, and VYASA, although doesn't have a Gurukula per se, but we have a residential. There are Ayurveda colleges and Naturopathy college, yoga college. So because it's residential, it has a Gurukula feel. But we would love to have a traditional Gurukula, and we would love to have as many Gurukulas around the country as possible.
What's happening with Vyasa Canada? How's it going?
VYASA Canada has started off operations and we're offering hybrid classes, and multiple courses have been offered in Canada. Very soon, we are hopeful of having a small campus. And
Small, are you sure? Okay.
yeah, we are in the process of building VYASA Canada, and we've been fortunate to enjoy the support of a lot of very good Canadians, and it's been very positive and going good. You can await more details in the time to come.
Interesting. Anything that you want to tell to the yoga enthusiasts in India and across the world?
To the yoga enthusiasts, we are coming towards Yoga Day very soon, the biggest day of the year, and make the opportunity to reach out to the community and the fraternity. To yoga is like a blessing that we need to share. We need to keep sharing. It's the benefit is endless, and the journey is limitless. Keep exploring.
Absolutely. I heard some gossip about something's coming up in New York for Yoga Day. You want to reveal anything? You want to say anything?
Oh yes, we will have Guruji, Dr. Nagendra ji visiting New York, and a very large event has been planned in Times Square. More than 10,000 people will be participating.
Wow.
So any of you listening, if you are around New York, or if you're in a position to be in New York on the 21st of June, I extend a hearty invitation. Please come and please be a part of history in the making.
Fantastic. You guys have received the invitation, so better be that. And thank you so much. Really appreciate it.
Pleasure all mine. Thank you for having me.